Have you ever been in a relationship where something just felt off? You couldn't quite put your finger on it, but a little voice in the back of your head kept whispering that things might not work out. It's a tough spot to be in, and navigating the complexities of love and partnership can feel like trying to read a map in the dark. But what if there were some clear road signs, some signals that could help you see where you're headed? Today, we're going to talk about just that. We're diving deep into the 7 key signs that a relationship might not be built to last. Now, before we get started, I want to make something crystal clear. This isn't about looking for reasons to end a good thing. Every relationship has its ups and downs. This is about empowerment. It's about giving you the tools to recognize unhealthy patterns so you can either work on them with your partner or make the best decision for your own well-being. Recognizing a problem is the very first step towards solving it. So, grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's explore these signs together. The first one might surprise you, because it's not about fighting. It's about what happens when you stop. Sign number 1, a lack of healthy conflict. That might sound backward, right? We often think that a perfect relationship is one with no arguments at all. But in reality, never disagreeing can be a massive red flag. It often means one of 2 things. Either one or both of you are so conflict avoidant that you're rebottling everything up, or you've simply stopped caring enough to fight for the relationship. Healthy conflict is how couples navigate differences, set boundaries, and grow together. It's not about yelling or hurting each other. It's about respectful disagreement and finding a middle ground. When you see a couple that says, "Oh, we never fight," what they might really be saying is, "We never talk about what actually matters." If you and your partner consistently sweep issues under the rug just to keep the peace, that rug will eventually become a mountain you can't climb over. The silence becomes heavier than any argument ever could be. This leads us directly to sign number 2. A breakdown in communication. This is the big one, the foundation of any successful partnership. Communication isn't just about talking about your day. It's about being able to share your fears, your dreams, your insecurities, and your yours. It's about feeling heard and understood, even when you disagree. When communication breaks down, you might notice that conversations become purely transactional. Did you pay the bill? Or what's for dinner? You stop sharing the little things, the funny stories, the moments that make you who you are. Maybe you feel like you're walking on eggshells, afraid to bring up certain topics because you know it will lead to a fight, or even worse, a cold shoulder. When you can no longer turn to your partner as your primary confidant, when you start confiding more in friends or family because it is a husties, you're creating an emotional distance that is incredibly difficult to bridge. A healthy relationship thrives on open, honest, and vulnerable communication. Without it, you're just 2 people living parallel lives. Next up, sign number 3. Your core values are fundamentally different. When you first start dating someone, it's all about the chemistry, the fun, the shared interests. You both love hiking, you have the same taste in movies, you laugh at the same jokes. That's all wonderful, but it's not what sustains a relationship in the long run. Core values are the beliefs that guide your life decisions. These are your We're talking about things like your views on family, marriage, and children, how you handle finances, your career ambitions, and what you consider a meaningful life, your spiritual or ethical beliefs. If you dream of traveling the world and your partner's biggest goal is to buy a house and settle down in their hometown, that's a major conflict. If one of you wants children and the other is adamantly against it, that's a fundamental difference that love alone usually can't solve. Over time, these core incompatibilities will create constant friction and resentment. You can compromise on what to have for dinner, but it's nearly impossible to compromise on your fundamental vision for life. Moving on to sign number 4. You, Dante, feel like you can be your true self. Think about it. When you're with your closest friends, you're probably relaxed, goofy, and completely unfiltered. You're you. Does that change when your partner walks into the room? Do you feel like you have to perform, to put on a mask, to be the person you think they want you to be? Maybe you hide your nerdy hobbies, downplay your ambition, or stifle your opinions to avoid disapproval. This is a subtle but deeply corrosive sign. A lasting relationship should be your safe space, the one place in the world where you are celebrated for exactly who you are, quirks and all. Your partner should be your biggest fan, encouraging your growth and loving your authentic self. If you constantly feel judged, criticized, or pressured to change the very essence of who you are, you're not in a partnership. You're in a performance, and let me tell you, that performance is exhausting and, ultimately, unsustainable. Sign number 5 is a feeling of constant contempt or criticism. According to renowned relationship expert Dr. John Gottman, contempt is the single greatest predictor of divorce. It's more than just criticism. Criticism targets a specific action. You didn't take out the trash, and I'm frustrated. Contempt attacks the person's character. You're so lazy and useless. You never do anything right. It's expressed through sarcasm, eye-rolling, scoffing, and dismissive humor. It's a form of disrespect that communicates disgust. It says, I am better than you. When contempt enters a relationship, it poisons the well. It erodes all respect and admiration. No one can thrive in an environment where they are constantly being put down and made to feel worthless. If you find yourself on either the giving or receiving end of contempt, it's a four-alarm fire. It signifies that the positive feelings in the relationship are being overwhelmed by negativity, and it requires immediate and serious intervention to fix. This brings us to sign number 6. The relationship feels like a chore, not a choice. Remember the beginning? When you couldn't wait to see them? When spending time together was the highlight of your week? How does it feel now? Do you find yourself making excuses to avoid being alone with them? Does going on a date feel like an obligation you have to check off a list? When a relationship starts to feel like a heavy burden you have to carry rather than a source of joy and support, that's a major sign of trouble. Of course, there will be periods where life gets busy or stressful, and the relationship might take a backseat temporarily. But if that feeling of obligation becomes the norm, if you feel more relief when you're apart than you do peace when you're together, it's a sign that the emotional connection has faded. A lasting partnership should add energy to your life, not drain it. It should feel like you're choosing to be with this person every day, not that you're stuck with them. Finally, we arrive at sin number 7. You have separate visions for the future, and neither of you is willing to compromise. This is different from having different core values. This is about the practical, tangible roadmap for your lives. You've been together for a while, but when you imagine your life 5 or 10 years from now, your partner isn't a guaranteed part of that picture. Or maybe you have a clear picture, but it's completely different from theirs. One of you wants to move to a new country for a dream job, while the other is deeply rooted in their community and has no intention of leaving. One wants to aggressively save for an early retirement, while the other believes in living in the moment. If you can't have open conversations about these future plans, or if every conversation ends in a stalemate with no one willing to budge, you're on 2 different tracks, heading in opposite directions. Eventually, those tracks will diverge so far that the relationship can no longer span the distance. A shared future has to be co-created. And if you're not building it together, you're building it apart. So there you have it, 7 signs that a relationship may not be built for the long haul. A lack of healthy conflict, a breakdown in communication, differing core values, not being your true self, contempt and criticism, the relationship feeling like a chore, and having separate futures. Seeing one of these signs doesn't automatically mean you should break up tomorrow. It's a signal, an invitation to look closer. It's a chance to have a difficult but necessary conversation with your partner. Sometimes, these issues can be worked through with honesty, effort, and maybe even the help of a professional counselor. But other times, they are signs that you are simply not the right fit for each other. And that's okay too. Recognizing that allows both of you to move on and find a partnership that is truly nurturing and sustainable. Your happiness and peace of mind are worth it. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I hope this has given you some valuable food for thought. If you found this helpful, please give this video a thumbs up. And do you and T forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our future content. What are some other signs you've noticed? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's learn from each other. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.